Somerville, McNeil-Miller, is this on?
If we can make sure that these mics are live, and Deborah, if it's on, then they'll probably catch up with us. No. There you go. All right. And please say,
It's Lee Somerville, McNeil-Miller. And
will you tell us who you're addressing your question to, lady?
well, sort of everybody, maybe.
Okay.
Whoever's got an answer. I moved here from Washington, D.C. about 15 years ago, and moved to the city of the arts, and yet I was struck by the fact that I didn't see a lot of artists on the street the way that I saw them in Washington, D.C. and in Asheville. In May, I got a peddler's permit and took a baby carriage downtown and sold my novel down there. And there was a couple of people came out to me, they were visiting Winston-Salem and said, "Look, it's an artist." You know, and they were really excited. And I had hoped that other artists would follow my example, get a peddler's permit and bring the hearts out of the galleries onto the streets of Winston-Salem. And my question is, why isn't that happening?
No, if Alan Joyce were here, he'd be able to answer that question.
Let's see here. I thought I saw an assistant city manager in here somewhere. Where did he go? Derwin. And the city manager. You all feel free to find your way to the microphone to talk about it. It's just us. We're going to try and get an answer. We'll try and get an answer for you.
So that it doesn't come out that I just care about jobs and economic capital. The fact of the matter is that I think all cities are sustained by social capital and aesthetic capital, and they can't go forward without it on a long-term basis. And so I would suggest that there's a lot of those places we can go study that make tremendous gains like this. You ever been to Granville Island, Vancouver? We go to city after city down in San Diego, a place where artists are all over the streets today, engaged with the community. Charlottesville, Virginia, extraordinary change in little downtown Charlottesville today. It's completely packed all day long, completely diverse, wonderful setting for us there. And that's where we go learn as a community, go to places.
All right, maybe somebody else can help us out, sir.
We on for good, it's on?
Yes.
Okay. When I first came to Winston-Salem, a handful of companies represented the jewels that were the crown of the city. So over time, all those jewels have fallen out. And I think to your credit, I looked at each one of you as I sat in the audience. I think you represent the replacement of those jewels, and I want to commend you for that, for all the areas that you represent, and all the other people that are here as far as leadership. Mr. Flo, you mentioned that, you know, McKenzie was hired to kind of give us a grip of who we are. And when you said that, but I remember when I came to the city 31 years ago, the city had just commissioned a group of consultants to tell us who we are. And one of the things we do well is it seems like we hire a lot of consultants over and over and over again. And that kind of leaves with the feeling that we're like in a sense of suspended adolescence and trying to figure out who we are. We're a good city right now. We're a fine city right now. In a brief answer from each one of you, I'd like to know, how far away are we, in your mind, from being what we can be?
Can I ask you a quick question? Where'd you move here from?
Chicago.
Oh, wow. Okay. Who wants to take that? Michael?
You know, I don't think we're that far, but I don't think we're going to have these jewels replaced. I think what we're going to have are smaller companies that are going to be coming to our area that are really going to change the personality of the city in a lot of ways. And once Don kind of lets us know what he's doing here, we'll get on board with that. But I think it's going to be those type of businesses that are going to lead our area. And so I don't come off as just the guy that talks about disparities and things of that sort. I think we have a great opportunity here in this city. Because first of all, we have great people, we have great leadership, and I think the potential is outstanding. But once again, I think the way that we're going to grow is through our larger cities and your smaller companies, and not concentrating on trying to bring necessarily the larger companies, the size of the R.J. Reynolds and Haynes and the Dales. I think it's going to be the smaller businesses that are going to really define the area. So that's my answer.
Okay. Karen?
Well, I think the city's full of jewels now. They may not be polished and set in, you know, the mat. You know, but you go to senior services, that's a jewel. You go find Florence Corpening at the YWCA, that's a jewel. You go see the work they're doing at the Forsyth Jail and Prison Ministry or at the Fellowship Home. You know, those are jewels in the social sector. Go to Winston-Salem State, see what's happening over there. Jewels, jewels, jewels. There's got lots of jewels. Maybe what we have to do is just collect them all, and what's the design we want to put it in so that we can showcase it, so that we can present it to the world and say, look at what we created. We've got all the pieces. We're just going to put it together.
I think that we might not ever get to an endpoint, and I'm not sure that I would want us to, because I would be concerned that if we identified what the endpoint is now, by the time we got there, it's going to be the wrong endpoint, because everybody else and all the other communities around us are changing. One thing that excites me about where we live is that just within the last 10 years, the excitement that's going on downtown is one thing, but also to see how the different pieces of our community are working together in collaborations. With Dawn's group, with the multiple nonprofit organizations that are working together and partnerships more so and more effectively now than I think they ever have. And I think that that is a wonderful asset that we have in our community that I don't think all communities have. And I think because of that, we will continually be able to visualize what the future is and also adapt to that as the needs change.
Do you want to add anything to that, Don?
When we're a city where every single person who wants a job can get a job. That's the first thing I'll tell you. Second thing I'll tell you is that when we leave the state of North Carolina, high school graduation rate. The thing I'll say is when we are a city that's proven that we will work to help grow companies. So a guy who has a dream with one company knows that everybody here rallies in every sector to say, how can we help you succeed, guys, male or female? And lastly, when we're a place that embraces diversity, and it's all over every leadership circle we're in, all over every community and every organization we're involved with. Because the southern mid-sized city that understands that and makes that happen will be the winning city in the next 50 years.